Welcome back to N's Notebook LM. We spend so much of our lives trying to set up our future selves for success. We save money, we try to eat right, we pick a career, and it's all based on this one core belief that we actually know what's going to make that future person happy. But what if that's just wrong? What if our gut feeling about our own future happiness is one of the most flawed skills we have? Okay, to see what I mean, just look at this paradox. On the one hand, you've got Adolf Fischer, an anarchist leader who by most standards accomplished pretty much nothing. And yet, his last words, right before being executed, were, "This is the happiest moment of my life." Then, on the other hand, you have George Eastman, the guy who founded Kodak. He had everything: money, success, fame, and his last words, before he took his own life, were, "My work is done. Why wait?" I mean, these two lives just present this huge puzzle that really gets to the heart of everything we do. How can we be so incredibly wrong about the very thing we spend our entire lives chasing? Well, to figure that out, we need to look at a few, let's call them systematic glitches in the way our brains imagine the future. All right, so let's jump right into the first one. Glitch number one is the fact that your brain is a brilliant, but sometimes a really dangerously creative storyteller. You see, most of us operate with this built-in sense of what's called realism. We think our mind is like a camera, that when we imagine the future, we're just playing back a recording of what's going to happen. But that's not it at all. It's much more like an artist who's painting a scene from memory. It doesn't retrieve a photo of the future, it creatively paints one. And it often just fills in the blanks with details it thinks should be there. Let me show you exactly what I mean with a little example from a study. I'm going to play a bit of a trick on you, so listen really close to this sentence. The state governors met with their respective legislatures. So what did you hear? Chances are you heard a complete word, legislatures. But here's the thing, the S sound wasn't there. It was actually replaced by a cough. Your brain didn't just ignore the gap, it actively, automatically filled it in for you. And it does that exact same thing when you imagine getting a promotion or moving to a new city. It fills in all the missing details with its best guess, and a lot of the time, that guess is just plain wrong. Okay, so that's glitch number one, our brain fills in the blanks. Now let's move on to the second mental glitch, which is all about how the way we feel right now totally taints our predictions for tomorrow. I mean, come on, we've all been there, right? You go to the grocery store when you're starving, and you come home with enough food to feed a small village. This is the perfect example of what psychologists call presentationism. It's this powerful tendency for how we're feeling in the present moment to completely hijack how we think we're going to feel later. And you can just see this effect so clearly in action. When we're hungry, we literally can't imagine a future where we're full and we won't want 3 family-sized bags of potato chips. Our present hunger basically projects itself onto our future self, and it leads to a ridiculously inaccurate prediction of what that person is actually going to need. But there's a third glitch, and honestly, this one might be the most surprising of all. We consistently fail to realize that we have this powerful, hidden coping mechanism that protects our happiness, and we don't even know it's there. We all have something called a psychological immune system. Think of it like your mind's unconscious defense squad. It helps us rationalize, reframe, and bounce back from bad experiences. It's the thing that helps you find the silver lining when you lose a job or go through a breakup. But here's the problem. When we're sitting around imagining some awful future event, we are completely unaware that this system is going to kick in and help us out. Okay, check out this brilliant experiment that shows this in action. They had students in a photography class pick their favorite of 2 photos they had just taken. Now, Group A was told, your choice is final. That's it. Group B, on the other hand, was told they could change their mind and swap the photos for the next few days. So who do you think ended up happier with their choice? And here's the really surprising part. The students who were stuck with their choice, that's Group A, they were significantly happier. And why? Because when a decision is final and you can't escape it, your psychological immune system gets right to work, finding all the reasons why your choice was actually the perfect one. The freedom to change their minds actually just left the other group second-guessing and less satisfied. So let's just put this all together. Our imagination fills in blanks, it gets totally warped by how we're feeling right now, and it completely ignores how resilient we actually are. It's kind of a flawed tool for the job. So if we can't trust our own minds to predict what will make us happy, what on earth are we supposed to do? Well, the research points to a solution that is as simple as it is completely counterintuitive. Instead of trying to look deeper inside our own heads, we should actually be looking at other people. No, seriously. The best way to predict how you'll feel about moving to a new city or changing careers or having a kid isn't to just sit and imagine it. It's to find people who have already done that exact thing and ask them how they actually feel right now. There's a name for this. It's called surrogation, and it just means using someone else's real, current experience as a substitute for your own imagined future one.
And the data on this is just stunning. I mean, look at this. In study after study, people who use their imagination, the simulators, are way less accurate at predicting their happiness than the surrogators, who just rely on another person's real report. We think our experience is going to be totally unique, but the truth is our emotional reactions to major life events are way more similar to other people's than we like to believe.
So that leaves us with one last, pretty provocative question. We have this deep, powerful desire to see ourselves as unique, as special, but when it comes to predicting our own future happiness, all the evidence suggests we should just ignore that feeling. So, would you be willing to do it? Would you actually trust a stranger's real experience over the beautiful, detailed, and utterly convincing story that your own imagination is telling you? If this topic has captured your interest and you'd like to dive deeper, the book is called Stumbling on Happiness by Daniel Gilbert.